I see a lot of people questioning which hand cannon is better to use, aggressives or adaptives, and I have like two answers for this. One's very generalized and another one's a lot more complex. To give you the short generalized answer immediately and not like clickbait you waste your time or whatever, aggressive frame or 120 RPM is a lot better if you prefer long range, bursty, and anchored playstyle. And adaptives are 140 RPMs. They're a lot better if you prefer to be aggressive and pushed up in close quarters because you have to deal with the flexibility and versatility of a faster fire rate hand cannon. And, you know, you average a faster base TTK. However, if you want to stick around for the elongated answer, I'm going to have to start off by explaining a few nuances. So, in case you've been living under a rock for a while, or maybe you haven't played Destiny, there was a buff recently to aggressive frame hand cannons, which increased the rate of fire from 110 to 120 rounds per minute. So, what this looks like on paper is a base TTK decrease of about 600th of a second, or 0.006. Awesome. Cool. What they did, which kind of pushed them a little too far out of the room, is they increased their range by a extremely high amount, and which just gave them a lot more negotiating room in the hand cannon ecosystem, but it also turned them into hand cannons. They shoot tank shells that are loaded in a sniper cartridge. So this is the part where I get to rant about what actually bothers me, or at least half of it, and that's the just absolute silly range increase that they got. Like, I can 100% get behind some form of range diversity and actual difference in play with hand cannons, but I feel like this step's way too far out of bounds in regards to where a hand cannon should realistically lie with its effective range. What I mean by this is aggressive frames have this tendency to make pulse rifles practically irrelevant, granted certain circumstances, and even encroach on scout rifle ranges, which again, this is an opinion. I don't really feel like a weapon with a 1.1 times zoom should be doing this. And I don't feel crazy. I don't feel like I'm out of line for feeling like this at all. Again, this is an opinion, and I'm not going to place like significant bias to try to sway people from using 120s in this video. So don't be like, oh, this guy is just going to try to get less 120s so you can RKO kids with the 140. Like, it's nothing like that. Rant part number 2, which is the ability to average around a half-second time to kill. That is 2 bullets to get a kill, 2 shots. That is with pretty much any damage booster at any resilience. This is not necessarily any resilience, but it is quite close to it. Why do I say you pretty much have the ability to average around a half-second time to kill? Okay, let's talk about this. I have a steady hand with Killing Wind and Swashbuckler, theoretically. I get 1 kill. I now have the ability to 2-tap pretty much any Guardian in Destiny. Correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, so I get a kill. Now I deal more damage, and I can repeat this process indefinitely. What makes it even better is I don't actually have to get a kill with the hand cannon to average this. I could get a melee kill with the hand cannon equipped, or like it's active, and then I have 5 stacks of Swashbuckler and I'm hitting 112 damage on the head, at like 42 meters. Okay, cool. So that's like on paper, you know, that's a vacuum. Destiny can't be calculated in a vacuum. Okay, so let's say, ability recharge rates are pretty high right now. Let's think about this. I'll just go on Well of Radiance, put down an Empowering Rift. Hell, it doesn't even have to be Well of Radiance. Throw on my Lunafaction boots, and I now have this nuclear ICBM hand cannon that will 2-tap anything pretty much at any range, challenging. I'm pretty sure it challenges anything at any range. So if you want to feel like a really good tank driver, feel free to strap one of these on, throw down an Empowering Rift, and dog, just don't leave the spawn. Because that's what most people in matchmaking are doing right now. And this is the real strength of 120 hand cannons right now, is the fact that they just outrange almost anything. Now, this wouldn't be such a problem if things like pulses and scouts and higher zoom things did not take so much flinch. And I'm not saying, oh, snipers should take less flinch. I'm saying, like, scout rifles and pulse rifles, they take a little too much flinch to challenge an aggressive frame hand cannon in aggressive frame hand cannon range, even outside of aggressive frame hand cannon range when we're starting to get into pulse, and upper scout rifle range. But I'm going to sit here and digress because I'm sure you understand what I'm getting at. And if you don't, they take a lot of flinch, and hand cannons deal a lot of flinch. I don't necessarily know how flinch is calculated, but it feels either completely random or it feels like it's based on damage, which is a magnitude scalar. I don't know. But yeah. So you can see where I'm getting at with this. Now, this isn't necessarily to say that you can't play CQC with the 120, because you certainly can. You certainly can, especially when Fellwinter's Lies in the game, and you have every range in the game covered. You when you get into these close quarter engagements, you're starting to get into optimal cones of other 140 hand cannons, which means that if you don't have that damage booster, there's a solid chance you're gonna get dropped. And again, this is a game of ranges, so 120s showing their dominance, showing their range advantage. They're probably going to be posted up a little bit further back than you would expect. And you would think, oh man, that scout rifle. Oh, wait a minute, that's not a scout rifle. I'm digressing once again. Once again, digressing. So I'm going to get into the 140 RPM part of this. I'm a bit more partial to 140s. It's quite clear, but I would never let that bias or influence the outcome or like what I say in a video, really, for the most part. I would never let it bias the outcome, ever. So let's talk about this here. We have 140s, which are significantly less range. They have a faster base TTK, and they have overall more versatility in regards to how you can build them, how you can use them, and how you can play them. You can play them passively, you can play them aggressively, just like any other gun in the game, really. But the increased rate of fire and just a larger perk pool, a more established perk pool of modern 140s is going to give them a bit of an advantage over 120s. And that's something that you need to play around if you're going to play against them head to head. I find myself using these fancy buzzwords like versatility and flexibility, and I never actually clearly explain what this means, so I'm going to do my best to do that right now. When I say versatility, I'm kind of referring to just how effective the weapon is in multiple situations. For example, a 140, it can very effectively kind of like maneuver around in CQC, because you're not like weighed down, and your errors are correctable very quickly because of the rapid fire rate. Take a look at spare rations kids who would spam it at 150 RPM. They would fire like 9 bullets of their 13 in the magazine, by the way. It would be max bloom, they would be spraying bullets all over the place, but they would still get the kill on you simply because they had this rapid ability to correct, like, oh, I missed this shot, let's take another one immediately. And they could just do that. And that was the problem with those hand cannons. Contrast that to 120 RPM hand cannons, where if you miss a shot, you have just increased your time to kill by like a 33rd of a second or something. I don't actually know what it is. The ability to work around maybe a situation that doesn't go quite your way, or an unexpected circumstance, just adds to the versatility, for me, of the weapon and of the archetype, and vice versa. And flexibility follows these same guidelines, really. I just kind of say them back to back because they sound cool. So there really isn't much left to say, and I honestly didn't intend for this to be some super crazy, super exploitative video where I get like 300,000 views, everyone loves it. But I'm going to summarize it here. 120s excel at long range, burst-style damage combat due to their ability to maintain a super low time to kill, and outrange a lot, if not most weapons, extremely consistently. 140s excel at a close to medium range sustained style combat due to their lower base time to kill, and a much more established and fleshed out perk pools, Hawkmoon Catalyst, and versatility across the board. That is quite literally all I have to say on the subject. It's just a topic that's been brought up in the stream a lot, and I wanted to cover it in a video, and there's probably going to be like 5 more minutes of gameplay in the background, because this was admittedly an extremely low effort video, but I just wanted to put my thoughts into a video so that I can link it to people, or so that maybe people who haven't heard the thoughts can gather it and make a more informed decision, rather than say, I saw a trial streamer using a 120, I want to use that because he's using, like, or she's using, it's like, what the hell, man. In any case, hope you guys enjoyed. I have cool new videos coming out soon. I'm going to talk about Hawkmoon versus Ace of Spades, so look out for that. If you see another YouTuber post that video, they stole it from this video, and we're going to argue.